Good morning. I'm Bill Zortman, and welcome to It's Your Business, the report card show. We appreciate all of our organizations coming together to share that information that is pretty doggone important at a time of uncertainty in the housing industry. We start with this guy named Tony Bachman. He's the keynoter for the report card show, and I know he's been out and viewing, showing, and working this weekend. I was checking up on you.
Yeah, no, we've been very busy. A lot going on. I mean, the nice weather, not only does it bring out robins, but it brings out a lot of home buyers and home sellers, so all is good.
All right, so it was Easter weekend. Do you think people were showing houses?
Yes, we know they were.
We were just talking about where, not only were they busy on Friday and Saturday, but there was still some people that were out there on Sunday, even on Easter looking. But I know that, and I think that, it's great that they're out there working for their clients and trying to help them find that home that makes sense. I know that that's just kind of personal choice when it comes to working on a holiday like that. But I know that we've got a lot of buyers who have a lot of needs, and we're making it happen. I even wrote an offer yesterday where
somebody from California.
Yeah. We had one of my California clients that we've been working with for a few months, and they decided the house that they had seen online was the one that they wanted to put an offer in.
All right, I'm going to ask the dumb question, and people are going to want to hear the answer. Why would people from California move to South Dakota?
Well, I think Greg Belfridge in the earlier hour kind of touched on it. He was talking about, the fact that you've got a lot of these other areas that people are wanting some more of a normal life semblance, whatever we define as normal, but they like what we have here, our standard of living, Absolutely. And what we have to offer. So the people that are moving here have never lived in South Dakota.
You're hearing from Anne Ferrell in the background. Tara is with the kids in Omaha at the zoo, and we think that, even real estate people should get some time off.
That's right. And you know what? We team up, and when somebody needs a break, someone else steps in. That's how it works.
All right. You were president last year.
Yes.
What are you seeing this year, and do you miss being president?
Well, do I miss it? No, but I really haven't left. I'm still on the board of directors. I'm still stepping in, and I'm still working. So
and a very heavy advisory position.
It's all good. It's all good. Things are moving forward.
We're all wondering what's going on with the marketplace. Between the two of you, you guys get us started, and then we'll go to some of the other folks in the show. Tony, what do you want to share?
Well, we're well underway in 2023, and we're just finding out that, our real estate market, which is constantly evolving, it's still very resilient. And when I say resilient, I'm saying that we still have a lot of activity going on. And I know that, some of the talking points that, we're talking to people about that are curious about is, the bullet points are home prices, what's happening with them, inventory levels and supply. How does it affect me at my certain price point that I'm looking to buy or if I'm looking to sell? Mortgage rates, of course, has probably been the most prominent thing that has, put people in a position where they really got to think about what makes sense to them. And then the people that are selling is, you know what? This has been a pleasant surprise. I have more home equity than I really realized. And so it's given me a lot of options moving forward, whether I want to make a move, a second home, help our kids go to school or whatever that might be. Because I think there's a lot of people that have no idea that they have that much home equity in their home. And they may have owned it only, 5 years, 10 years.
Right.
Or in the case, we can have an example last week was if you've owned a home since 1993, that home value is probably 300% more than what it was.
Yeah, that's a lot of equity.
So, I saw the number. I hope you haven't read the number because I was going to quiz you this morning, Andy. I mean, you're here. And if you've read it, just play dumb, okay?
Okay.
Like I do all the time. The median sales price has increased 7% to what figure? What would you say?
The median is at, it's either the median or the average is at 280.
We went to median. Yeah, median is the 284.9, or let's just call it 285 as a benchmark here.
So where would we have been 5 years ago on that median price?
Oh, it would be substantially less. I mean, I love it when you do this to me.
Right.
So actually.
Well, there's not a wrong number.
Yeah. No. The median sales price probably would have been closer to somewhere around a little over $200,000.
Right.
You know?
And I would say for people listening, bear in mind that is impacted by what have you done to maintain the home, to upgrade the home. Those numbers are going to fluctuate. So,
Yep. And, and we go from, because we constantly compare a traditional market meaning like 2018 or before versus now, because everything kind of got skewed with, with the pandemic and people having to realize that, hey, we're working from home. And I will dovetail on that and say that is still affecting our market. Even though we're post, quote, pandemic, there's a lot of people and companies who have realized they can work from home and they like it. It actually works for their family. And so when people are looking at homes, they have that in mind. I mean, maybe they only need 2 bedrooms, but they want the 3rd bedroom or den to be able to have a nice office space. So it's still having an effect on our market with like a lot of our buyers. I got basically a buyer today. We closed on one this morning just before I came here. We're going to close this afternoon on a house. They're moving up because they want the extra space because the missus works from home.
All right. I'm going to let you explain this, Anne.
Oh, dear.
Pending sales are up 17% compared to last year, but closed sales were down 23%. How did we get a 17 and a 23 different directions?
Well, we had a few things happen. We had some really nasty weather for about 3 months, which really impacted who could get out and show homes and have open homes. We had fewer homes available to pick and choose from, and those that were there got picked up and sold.
Yeah. 100% in reference to weather. We talked about this last week. I mean, last week we said, hey, the last 5 weekends, we've had 3 of them that have blizzard storms or ice or whatever. And so it really did limit the amount of people. But what happened, and then also the interest rates were doing a little bit of fluctuation, January and February, which kind of made people kind of pull back a little bit. So what you're seeing typically about a 30 to 60-day cycle.
Right.
So closed sales or, may be down a little bit. Pending sales are up a little bit, but the other overriding factor that's affecting this in its entirety is the fact that our inventory levels are what they are.
Yep.
And so, I think that if we had more inventory, which we hope to achieve that because, we're starting to see more sellers that are, I know I've got a lot of calls, and Anne, you probably have more people saying, hey, I think now is the time, this makes sense. So we've kind of got this new market that people are, with the digital market, so to speak, where everybody can be on the internet and see everything at any one moment.
And Sioux Falls looks good.
Yeah.
Very good.
But we also have the traditional timeline market, our spring market. So the spring market, moving forward, we're going to be busy, very busy over the next 3 months. And I did have, just as an indicator or barometer, was speaking from someone over at Plains Commerce Bank, one of the many lenders in town, and they, in one day, had 23 applications that came in. So that's one lender of all the lenders. So if they had 23, let's just say that we've got 100 some different lenders, and they're on average pulling in anywhere from 5 to 10 applications. We've got hundreds of buyers out looking for homes that are that inventory.
Well, and I would say that people are starting to get more used to the interest rates. They understand this is where it's at. Yes, it's going to fluctuate some, but those days of really low rates are going to be gone for quite a while. And your best bet is to get in now. We can always adjust later, but take advantage of it. When the house is available now, you want to make a move.
And actually, rates aren't bad. I mean, they've been coming down compared. I mean, I had made a note that because I had got a note from one of the lenders, indicating their rates, and they are rated anywhere between 5.125 and 6.25, depending on the program.
That's really doable.
So now we're in a position where that makes sense. People can make sense of that. Talking about inventory, and I just used one segment of the market. I just used like a 200 to 250K because I'm talking about these 23 home applicants. I would say that probably half of them or more are first-time home buyers that are in this segment, right? And so this is the part where the reason we don't have as many closed sales or that sort of thing is because they don't have homes to be able to see, or when they do come up, they're gone. But right now, as of yesterday, there was 25 total active homes for people who are trying to work inside that 200 to 250 to actually see. And, and that changes. I mean, all of a sudden this week we might see another 10, 15, 20 homes that'll come out. So it's not like but this is where we're back to this point of working with someone who's working on your behalf to keep track and stay on top of this, And then the other part is where people say, well, is this a good time? What should I make for an offer, right? I mean, like, hey, I heard that the price is a little higher. I heard that, maybe we can negotiate a little bit to a degree, but on average, this price point in March received 102% of the list price. So if this home was, a $200,000 home, they on average got $204,000 for the home.
The multiple bids. How do you instruct or how do you talk people through it that are listening to their parents that are not used to ever hearing the word multiple bids?
I think part of it is helping them understand that there is this competitive market. If you're going to get a home, you need to be prepared. Knowing that you're going to go in with a multiple offer, go in knowing what is your top dollar. What can you reasonably afford to go up to? And be wise about it as well, because if you're going to sell this home, you've got to make sure you stay in it long enough to make up what you put in over and above. So you got to be smart about how far over you're going. We are still seeing people negotiate, though, for inspections now. Even though we're seeing more competitive offers, we're still seeing some that are going for inspections. And I think as any first-time buyer, regardless of your age, it's smart to know your home. And so be prepared for those. You're seeing some good... I would say this is where you really need your realtor, because when we put those multiple offer bids together for our clients, we know how to massage the verbiage to help our clients do well with that. So I would say get involved with your realtor. If your parents aren't sure and they're part of it, I've sat down with a lot of the parents. I've even had some come with me. And when they get out there and they see what's going on, they go, oh, this is not what it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
You think?
Okay. Yeah. And so, so it's okay to come along. Let's have a conversation. The parents
and I love it when the parents come along, in reference to, because I know what they want to make sure that their kids are taken care of, and they want to make sure that, everything makes sense. And so I find that a lot of times when we're in this market like this, when we sit down and have the consultation and we kind of roll through, I show them like, hey, here's your price point. Here's the homes that have recently sold. And here's some of the things that, here's what they offered. Here's what was accepted. All of a sudden it puts all that in perspective, because if you don't have any context back to when they bought a home, if it was, 20 years ago, well, they were offering, 94% of whatever list price was. Days gone by, type of thing. I just think that this week I had 2 offers. I was in multiple bid situation with both of them. Luckily, both of my offers received it. But again, that's just a matter of, I don't know if I was any – sometimes it's not always about money. Right. Sometimes it's about some of the terms in reference to, what makes sense.
Flexibility.
For inspections and things like that. I'm never waiving inspections. Right. But sometimes what we do is we say, hey, we understand we're buying a house that's 60 years old, so we're going to have an allowance. We're going to say, hey, X amount of dollars is just going to be considered as is. Right. And that gives the sellers a real high comfort factor.
And I find that, too, some of our first-time home buyers are recognizing we're not going to push the limits and go to the highest point of our availability, because we want to be able to have that overage. And we want to be able to have that cash flow should there be anything in the inspection. So they're getting really smart about how they're shopping.
Yeah. All right, we got to get Doug Topp in here. He wants a theme song. I still haven't got that, but we've got everything else for him ready next. Tony, thanks for being the
Thank you, Bill.